Liverpool, Leeds, another fixture on the horizon for the Reds in a packed calendar. Just coming off the back of the defeat to Madrid in the Champions League. Need to answer back in the league, I suppose. We have been on good form in the Premier League of late, the best form we've probably shown all season, or at least since Christmas time. Now, when I think back to the first game when we played Leeds, Liverpool were at full strength there, and I've not been one of these fans to blame everything on the injuries. I grant they have a massive impact, and they have an impact on how individual performances are affected. For instance, Trent hasn't got the cover of Gomez, so he's more exposed down that side and all that jazz. But sometimes I think that is a bit of a cop out. But what I'm trying to get at is that first game of the season, we were at full strength, and I remember saying at the time, watching it in the pub, because the pubs were open at that point, we are going to struggle this season if we continue to play like that, because the line was so high, and Joe Gomez and Virgil van Dijk were all over the shop. Now, we conceded 3 goals in that game. We got lucky with a penalty, that I believe, and we got the win. Was it 4-3 or was it 3-2? It was one of them. Then we went on and played Aston Villa, and obviously we all know what score that was, shipping 7 goals and all that carry on. This is with full strength side, by the way. Two of our biggest goal concedings this season were when we were at our full strength. Now, I'm not saying anything against the team in that regard, but what I'm trying to get across to fans that are blaming everything solely on the injuries is we conceded a massive amount of goals in a few games when we were at full strength. Now, what I think it is, a lot of teams have cottoned on to Liverpool's style. Stylistically, it's not the hardest style to figure out. Stay narrow, don't let the wing backs past, go over the top fast and early like Real Madrid did the other day. You do that and you haven't got the pace at the back like Phillips and Kabak haven't got, and you're in on goal. Now, Leeds did that very well against Liverpool. They've got that Bielsa ball style which they're all raving about. You've got Calvin Phillips dropping very deep in the six, splitting the centre halves and getting the ball up nice and early to the strikers. Bamford's had a great season. Raphinha's had a great season. They've got a lot of quality and a lot of aggression in that side. Now, I think they're currently 9th or 10th at the minute. I'm not sure they can break into the 8th position. I just don't know if there's enough games left. But they have shown some absolutely brilliant moments and flashes in games. So much so that all the pundits are raving about them. Now, I remember seeing they got swatted by some team. I can't remember what score it was, but they were like, oh, the football he played, and you're like, Canal boys, like, we're in a results business, you know what I mean? You need to actually get the results if you're playing good football. When you get promoted into the league, first and foremost, you need to survive. They've definitely survived and they've thrived, if we're being totally honest. They've played really well. Now, when we line up against Bielsa ball, when we play them this week, we've got to be prepared to be aggressive and to match them in the midfield. Now, we didn't match Real Madrid in the midfield at all in the first leg. Second leg was a lot better. But one of my concerns is for Fabinho's form recently. He's been really off the boil. He's been too lethargic on the ball. He hasn't been getting us moving forward fast enough. And his destructive work hasn't been as effective as it's been in recent weeks as well. So that is quite a concern. Now, whether it's because he hasn't had Thiago playing next to him, he's maybe looked a little bit more sluggish, maybe a bit more exposed. Milner was great in that second leg against Real Madrid the other day. Wijnaldum, for me, I've never liked Wijnaldum, and I've always wanted us to sell him. And now we're going to end up not getting any dough for him because we've left it too late with his contract. That's if he does go. If he stays, for me, he's a squad player at best. And you get all the fanboys like, but what he's done? Like, yeah, John O'Shea won everything with Real Madrid, fucking hell. He wasn't that good. John O'Shea won everything with Man United. He's fucking shit. John O'Shea wouldn't get a game in fucking North Liverpool Sunday League. He's shite. He's probably alright at centre half, that's probably about it. But he was playing fucking centre mid for United at one point. Don't give me all this shit about loyalty to the players. Loyalty gets you fucking nowhere in football. You need to be aggressive and you need to be dynamic in the decisions that you make. Liverpool owners are, and that's why we got Klopp when we had a near title winning season under Brendan Rodgers. It baffles me how we've kept so many players on the books that are dead wood. Anyway, that's a different story for a different episode. Maybe when Steve's back on the pod with me. We'll have a look at that one. But when we're playing Leeds this week, we need to be aggressive and we need to be on the front foot from the very first whistle. There's no room for these efforts and these tippy-tappy shots that don't have any conviction behind them. You know, point to the fact Salah against Real Madrid, you know, that goes in, it's a different game. We've got 85 minutes to score another goal. Mane, oh my God, what is up with fucking Mane? He is the definition of space jammed, that lad. His form, his confidence is totally gone. He's diving as soon as he gets touched, he's going down and then rolling around why he hasn't had the decision. Firmino, he's done as well. Jota and Salah are the only shining lights in that attacking quartet, if you like, at the minute. Jota's been, you know, he's had a fantastic season, blighted by injury, as we know, and Mo Salah's just been consistent with his goal scoring. You can't rely on Mo Salah to score a goal every game. Now, he missed that chance the other day and he had another chance and he should have done better. But there's other players on the pitch that should be stepping up to the fold as and when we need them. And, you know, Salah can hold his hands up this season. Whether he decides to stay or whether he decides to go, he's done right by the club and he's put in another fantastic performance this season. And his finishing has been as clinical as it's been in recent years based on shots per game. I do think that the key element to this game is the midfield battle against Leeds. If we press high like we're going to, it's what we do, it's Liverpool, they're going to go direct straight over the top. Raphinha against Robertson will be very interesting. Robbo's still been very astute defensively this year, but his offensive plays, of course, for concern. His crossing's just gone, like literally gone. He gets all hunched up over the ball, can't deliver across. If I was Leeds, I'd be targeting the right side. Well documented. I don't think Trent Alexander-Arnold's a fantastic defender. I think his defender's been far better over the past 6 months, but he's too technical to be a defender. He should be playing higher up the park and being more creative for us in an attacking sense. The goal he scored against Villa, you know, shows if he's in and around the box in their positions, he can be a threat. But I would really like to see Liverpool have a look at Raphinha as a signing. I think with him coming in, he's bag of tricks, he's pacey, he's powerful, he's got an eye for a shot on target, he's got an eye for a goal. I think it might be a little bit reminiscent to Jota coming in where, you know, he's a bit unassuming, no one really knows what he'll do, comes into a better team with a better coach with a better system, more chances per game, and he's going to get goals. And I do think he's a really talented individual, and it's been a great signing for Leeds. Fabinho is going to have a big match in the midfield. He's going to have to negate the press and win balls back high up the park. If he can press high and get right on Calvin Phillips, we'll have a massive chance against Leeds. You know, you shouldn't really be saying that as a Liverpool fan, we'll have a massive chance against Leeds, but this season's been that season. You just don't know who's going to show up. Hopefully results go our way again this weekend. They have done the past couple of weekends and we've capitalised on it. If we can keep doing that, I do think we'll break into the top four. I've got a sneaky suspicion Leicester might fall out of the top four, as might West Ham, and that'd leave the door open for Chelsea and Liverpool. I'm expecting a win, maybe 2-1, 3-1. I do think there'll be goals for both sides, and hopefully we can get the business done against Leeds. Massive respect to what they've done this season and made up the back in the Premier League. They're a proper Premier League club, and I do think they'll kick on and be challenging for Europa League in the next 2 or 3 seasons. I also think they'll be right on the shoulder at Tottenham and Everton, which you know, I've mentioned in the other video where I think they are in relation to top four. I think Leeds can really push those two teams and be very interesting to see what they do next season.